You're looking up into the night sky through a telescope, and a small flash of light happens. Pluto has been destroyed. A glimpse of light, and then it's gone. How much energy would it take for something like this to happen? Well, I'll get into the numbers later, but what if I were to tell you that comic book Thor has the striking power to destroy small planets? Well, that's who's in the battle arena today. In one corner, we have comic book Thor, and it only seems appropriate to put the god of thunder up against the god slayer Kratos. We're going to dive into these guys' best feats. Who's the strongest? Who's the most durable? Who's the fastest? To see who's going to come out on top. Is it going to be comic book Thor, or will it be Kratos? Will it be the god of thunder or the god slayer? Stay tuned and let's find out. What's up, guys? I'm Drew, and this is DanCo. We want to thank you so much for watching our channel. If you enjoy this video or videos you might have seen in the past, please make sure to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up, like button now. Turn on post notifications so you can see more videos just like this every single week. Also, comment down below to let us know what battles you would like to see here in the battle arena in the future. Thanks again for hanging with us today, and let's jump in. So let's start off talking about Kratos today. Maybe some of you guys don't know Kratos. Maybe you're more familiar with Thor, but Thor versus Kratos has been the topic of discussion, being that God of War is expected this year. Also, the new Thor movie is expected later this year as well. So these two have risen to the top of the two powerhouses that need to fight each other, and we need to know who is the strongest. It's no small thing to say that one is stronger than the other unless you have hardcore facts, and that's what we're going to be bringing you today, is a ton of facts, a ton of numbers, so make sure to buckle in and let's see who wins this battle. So yeah, Kratos. Who is Kratos? Honestly, you might not know. Kratos is a Spartan warrior based on the Greek mythology and later the Norse mythology. Tricked into killing his family by Ares, the ancient Greek god of war, Kratos seeks to avenge their deaths and become the god of war himself after killing Ares himself. Most importantly, Kratos is a demigod and the son of Zeus, which is like a big deal. I think to give Kratos the respect that he deserves, we should mention his godly hit list. So buckle in. He's killed a lot of gods. He's killed Poseidon. He's killed Ares. He's killed Athena. He's killed Hades. He's killed Helios. He's killed Hercules, Hera, Zeus. He's killed Boulder. He's killed Mimir, I guess. Like, he got Odin to put him inside of a tree. He's also the god of knowledge and of wisdom, and he cut his head off and just kind of carried him around with him. So it's technically like he has his own personal assistant, sort of like Siri or Alexa, to tell him whatever he needs to know when he needs to know, right?
Whatever you say, Drew.
So what else is special about Kratos? I mean, he has a hit list of people that he's killed. What does that mean specifically to us? Well, let me put it to you like this. Talking about Kratos' strength, in one meeting he meets Kronos, a 1,600-foot tall Titan. He's the leader of the Titans, weighing in at over 7 million tons. By the way, the Empire State Building is 1,400 feet tall. So Kronos has about 200 feet on the Empire State Building, if you can imagine that. Kronos tried to slap Kratos, but Kratos held the attack and threw it back. With some quick math from my Google friends, this means that the slap would have weighed somewhere around 18,534,983 tons, which is roughly, think about it, do the math, comment below, 41 billion pounds, which is more than 3 of these big boy pyramids on top of each other. Their combined weight. These pyramids weigh 12 billion pounds each. This is the weight that Kratos was able to hold back. 41 billion pounds is also over a third of the weight of the heaviest object on Earth, the Great Wall of China. It's more than a third of the Great Wall of China. That means that Kratos would technically be able to bench this much of the Great Wall of China, the wall that you can actually see from space. So yeah, he's super, super strong, but he's also super durable. So he killed 15 gods. These gods fought back. It wasn't just him fighting and killing gods in their sleep. They fought him back, and he was able to withstand these attacks. I would say that he's extremely durable. Since he's fighting Thor, we're going to talk about the time he took a lightning bolt from Zeus directly to the face. Point blank range, and he still survived. This is Zeus, the god of lightning. The strongest lightning bolt that's ever been recorded was the mega flash that happened in South America in 2018. To put it in terms of understand, this lightning bolt traveled 440 miles. That's 6 hours of driving if you are driving 70 miles per hour. That's how far this lightning bolt stretched. And it only took the lightning bolt 16 seconds to get to where it was going. So for a lightning bolt to happen, it has to reach over 1 billion volts. So this lightning is coming from Zeus. How can we measure a stronger lightning bolt? Well, if we were to look at lightning in our solar system, we would have to go to the planet Saturn. So in Saturn, it said that the lightning in Saturn is 1 million times stronger than the lightning on Earth, meaning that is 1,000 trillion volts of electricity. That's just what we have knowledge of right now. 1,000 trillion volts of lightning. And I would still say that that is a shadow of comparison to what Zeus can do with his lightning bolts. Kratos takes it to the face. This is a big deal. I'm literally researching this about Kratos, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, Thor's definitely going to have the upper hand here. And I'm seeing the things that Kratos can do, and I'm like, Kratos may come out on top. That is a huge feat to get struck in the face by Zeus's lightning. Fun fact that will come back into play when we talk about Thor. Lightning can actually heat up the air that it passes through to 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Kratos took it to the face. That's a big deal. He's even able to dodge lightning. He was able to dodge some of Zeus's lightning. And so how fast does that make you? So if we're talking about the lightning strike from the mega flash in South America back in 2018, it traveled 440 miles in 16 seconds. It was a lightning strike in Argentina, started near Cordoba, passed Rosaria, and almost made it all the way to Buenos Aires, traveling at about 99,000 miles per hour. Meaning Kratos would need something special to help him move that fast, and I think Hermes' boots would give him the skill to do that. Good thing that he cut off Hermes' boots, and he's able to wear them for himself, gaining speeds over 99,000 miles per hour to dodge lightning. Kratos also did crazy things like when Hades tried to steal his soul, he returned the favor and he stole Hades' soul. The underground taker person that lives in the underworld that steals souls, Kratos stole his soul. And this is also another fact that's going to come into play when we talk about Thor's soul. So we're talking a lot about Thor. Let's go ahead and mention some of the feats that you might not know about comic book Thor that's going to really help him out in this battle today, and it's going to actually be important when these two fight each other. Thor is stupid strong. His feats on paper are honestly just dumb. A lot of times they don't even make sense. I guess there's a lot of guys who know more about Thor than Kratos, but let's talk about like the actual feats from comic Thor that's going to play a big part in him fighting Kratos. Just to be clear, we're talking about comic Thor. We're not talking about MCU Thor. We're not talking about the Thor that did all this weird, crazy stuff and became all these different kinds of Thors. We're just talking about plain Jane comic book Thor. There's a definite difference between this Thor and this Thor who's able to shatter small planets, sending him into a psychic backlash, seeing the past, the future, and other things he's never seen before all at the same time. So we started the video off talking about what would it take to destroy a small planet. Small planets, as we know it, are Pluto, right? So Pluto has proudly volunteered. Again, with a little bit more of Googling to find the answer, it would take about 25 billion nukes to blow up Pluto. 25 billion. And so for all you math nerds who might be questioning 25 billion nukes, here's all the work. It's above my head. I don't understand it, but this is what it looks like. To be fair to Thor, it says that he's able to destroy a small planet with his force. Pluto is a small planet for our solar system, but outside of our solar system, there are planets that are way bigger than Earth, way bigger than Jupiter and Saturn. So technically in the scope of things and the means of things, when we talk about the whole universe, Earth would probably categorize as a small planet. So if we were to use Earth as a small planet, how much would it take to destroy Earth? The scientist Simon Bridge from Core Column says the force needed to destroy Earth would have to be 100 billion times more powerful than the meteor that's been given the credit to extinct the dinosaurs. So 100 million times stronger than that. In human terms, the world's nuclear arsenal in 2017 was 4 gigatons, and it would take 10 to the exponent of 13 gigatons of TNT for an event like that to happen. So we have 4 gigatons of nukes in our arsenals in 2017. You would need 10 to the exponent of 13 gigatons to destroy Earth. What does all this matter? Well, Thor can destroy Earth with just the swing of Mjolnir. Just the swing. His swinging force is powerful enough to destroy small planets. He is a planet level plus when it comes to strength. So you may be asking, you're telling me a bunch of numbers, but what does this have to do with the fight? Well, Thor's force of his swing with Mjolnir is able to destroy small planets. Like, that's how strong Thor is. You want to hear other strengths? Well, that's just one strength. Thor also has thunder and lightning at his fingertips with Mjolnir, a dear friend of all of his attacks and skill. Thor uses Mjolnir not only to bring lightning down on his foes, but every so often Thor brings out his super called the God Blast, a blast that channels Thor's life force all the way through Mjolnir. In Thor Volume 2, number 12, Majestavalia had captured Odin and drained him of almost all of his power completely. On top of that, she merged with all the dark gods that exist. She merged with all of them. And Thor's blast was able to weaken her enough for her to be overthrown. Even a hungry Galactus said this after he had overtaken Ego, the living planet that we seen in Guardians 2. Hungry Galactus admitted that the God Blast would kill him. These are feats that just don't make sense in human terms. I can't even give you numbers to be like, so this is how strong a God Blast is. I can't explain it. That's how strong Thor is. Well, that's his strength, so let's talk about how fast is Thor. I have a couple of scans that tells us exactly how fast Thor is. Here he uses Mjolnir to fly, not to space, not to another planet, but one time he flew through the middle of the sun. Another time he flew across a whole solar system in the time that it took him to only say 2 sentences. So, maybe 20 seconds. That's we could turn the video off. What kind of feat is that? What do you do with that? So what does that mean? To fly across the whole solar system would be about 7 billion miles. So it said that Thor visited the very edge of the solar system. So for our solar system, that's a comet strip, a comet barrier that is all the way out at the very ends, and that adds up to be somewhere over 5 trillion miles. Thor flew 5 trillion miles in about 20 seconds. So want to know how fast that was in miles per hour? Well, it's this number, 1.0044 e plus to the 15th miles per hour. And so we can understand that number looks a little bit more like this. That's how fast Thor is. So a really fun durability feat that Thor has is he flew through the middle of the sun like we talked about. He also fought Wolverine. So if you know anything about Wolverine, you know a lot about Wolverine's claws being made out of adamantium. So this is the strongest metal that exists in the Marvel Universe. Even Colossus' skin is supposed to be made out of steel, not able to be cut. Wolverine cuts through Colossus. So Colossus has the ability to turn his skin into steel. So if we were to take steel as we know it, the strongest form of steel is called tungsten. That's actually what my wedding band is made out of. It's made out of tungsten. And so if you were to take tungsten can withhold the capacity of 500,000 PSI. So you're like, what the heck does that number mean? Well, let me put it this way. The bite force of a great white shark is 4,000 PSI, meaning that it would take the bite force all combined, all at once, of 125 great white sharks to break this piece of tungsten. Maybe not this piece, but an actual slate of steel. That's what Wolverine is able to cut through. 500,000 psi. That's how strong his claws are. Thor was able to withstand several cuts and only say, oh, it just barely hurt. It's no significant damage. That's the type of skin that Thor has. He talks about his Asgardian skin being thicker and tougher than any other type of normal skin, apparently stronger than steel. So with just a few of these feats in, who do you think is going to win? Put down in the comments below. I love to read those. Do you think it's going to be Kratos or do you think it's going to be Thor? Make sure to put your guess in now. Let's get to the answer. Let's first address Kratos' sword, the Sword of Olympus, which is somewhat spammed in all the Kratos comment sections. Yes, it killed Zeus. It's killed Athena. Even Kratos stabbed himself with it. But is it any type of threat to Thor? Maybe the sword was forged by Zeus from the heavens and from the earth, so it has all this power. It even has the power of Kratos that resides inside of it as well, being a demigod himself. It's definitely worth mentioning and talking about. I know it's probably his best weapon, kind of like saying Thor without Mjolnir. How can you do that? I just don't know if Kratos is even going to be able to touch Thor. With the type of speeds that we're talking about Thor being able to achieve, it just doesn't make sense. I just don't think that Kratos' scaling in that universe standalone matches to what Thor is doing over here in the comics. Like that, Kratos, don't mess with Kratos in God of War. Don't mess with him in that universe. I mean, he's killing Zeus, he's killing Athena, he's killing Hades, he's killing all these big gods. He's doing big damage. But the way that scales comparative to the comics, I just don't see much of a comparison. We're talking about Thor being able to travel 1.004 quadrillion miles is way faster than what we talked about Kratos at least being able to travel 99,000 miles per hour. Like, those two numbers are way different. And I'm not saying that's the top of Kratos' speed, but he did get hit in the face with some of the lightning. He dodged some, but he did get hit in the face with some as well. And I know what some of you might say is like, oh, well, he was flying through space with Mjolnir. There's no gravity. Also, that's like top speed. It took some time for him to get to that speed. They're honestly just not close. Then another point, you may be thinking, well, didn't Kratos steal Hades' soul? Yeah, he did. And the thing about this is that Thor, his soul is like really special. It's eternal. He is a god. And Doctor Strange looked at Thor's soul and was put in a conundrum about what he saw. While Hades is the god of the underworld, tried to steal Kratos' soul, Mephisto actually did the same thing and tried to steal Thor's soul, and he couldn't do it. He could not conceal, he could not contain Thor's soul. Even Ghost Rider used Hellfire against Thor, the skill used to burn the soul and the flesh. Thor just simply said no, like it doesn't work on me. While Kratos did kill all the gods in his universe, like we talked about before, Thor also killed Zaleo, who merged with all of the dark gods that exist. All of the baddies, all of the best of the baddies in one place. Thor was able to overpower them. Like, that's the type of power that Thor has. So, before I tell you today that Thor wins, I just wanted to share a few honorable mentions about Thor as well. Like this. Thor has ripped a tear in the universe with his swing. He sent Surtur and Ymir to the dreaded Sea of Eternal Night, so dimension teleporting. And he freaking killed Stalin and Hitler. Like, this guy has done a lot of stuff. So today, this battle is going to go to Thor. Thor wins. Hey, but let me know what you think. Make sure to comment down below. Who wins today's battle? Do you think that it is Kratos from God of War, or do you think it is the comic book Thor? Make sure to leave your comments down below. We love to read those and engage with you guys in that way. Also, if you have other anime ideas you want to hear, or other video game characters that you want to see battle here in the Battle Arena, make sure to make those requests down below as well. And while you're there, make sure to subscribe, to like this video, turn on post notifications so you can see more videos just like this every single week. And until then, we'll see you next time.